Hello everyone! Today is another very special day because it is time for someone very near and dear to my heart. So for today, I actually have a very special treat for y'all. Because my mom has a story about me watching The Little Mermaid for the very first time. So I texted her and asked her, hey, do you have a voice recorder on your phone? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, can you record yourself telling the story of me watching Little Mermaid for the first time? So while I'm doing the line art of this, I thought it would be really cool to have my mom tell that story to y'all. So let's get started.
When Taryn was 2.5 years old, The Little Mermaid movie came out on video. I took her to the store to buy it, and we went right back home to watch the show. She was at the kitchen table eating lunch as the movie came on. Taryn froze. Her mouth was full of sandwich, but she had stopped chewing, her lips apart in awe. The music, the art, the graphics, the characters all mesmerized her. She changed in an instant. She watched the movie many times over, and it became real to her. She fell in love with the orcas, only on screen for moments, Sebastian the crab, and of course, mermaids. She wanted to be a mermaid for Halloween. She wanted to be a mermaid when she grew up. When left to her own devices, she drew mermaids. The magic has never left her.
Let's get some colors up in here. Where's my thing? There it is. Cool. I'm gonna pull out all of these from previous projects. So I hope you enjoyed that little story and a glimpse into my childhood. Yeah. I think that's one of my mom's favorite stories about me. So, you know. She's red all over, isn't she? So let's get some colors. I always wind up cutting this part out because it's just me picking colors, and that's not necessarily very entertaining for people. So, oop, I just threw a marker at my face. So I will get back to y'all in a moment. I can never remember which one is the dark one. Okay. So there's that. She's got some blue eyes, and I have pulled out all of the blues before, so this is part of the reason why I never clean up this room. Gotta make that darker, so I'm gonna do this. Okay. So there's that. Let's start with the shadows. One thing that when I draw mermaids, one thing that I am absolutely obsessed with always is putting pearls in their hair. Like, I don't know why, but mermaids should always have pearls in their hair. If they have hair. Some mermaids don't have hair. But, yeah. I don't know why we as a society don't have this idea of mermaids should have pearls in their hair at all times. Fairly certain it's not aerodynamic or hydrodynamic, I guess is the proper term for that. But I don't care. It's pretty. And also, if we're going by like, oh, that's not practical, that's like 90% of clothing is not practical. Or like fashion, I should say. Because clothing is made to be, well, clothing should be practical, but a lot of the clothing that people tend to wear is not practical. Nope, that's wrong. That's right. There we go. So when we're going from a like an aesthetic kind of deal, should it really matter if pearls in hair are hydrodynamic? And if we're going for aesthetics, no. It doesn't matter that pearls are not hydrodynamic. Because a lot of the aesthetic clothing out there, I am just not... I've got a... Yeah, it shouldn't... Because a lot of the clothes that are out there are not practical. So... especially when they're adhering to a aesthetic. So if we're going to use the pearls in the hair aren't practical argument for why mermaids shouldn't have pearls in their hair, then guess what? I don't care. Then that should negate like a lot of aesthetics anyway, because my aesthetic is loose-fitting shirts and tight pants, and that's for everybody. That's like male, female, non-binary, gender non-conforming people. Everyone should wear loose-fitting shirts and tight pants. That's my aesthetic. I know this looks really orange, but eventually it's going to pink itself out, so. But since the vast majority of the world doesn't agree with me, they're going to say, well, your clothing's not practical. I'm like, I don't know. Shirts, like flowy shirts, are super comfy. And I like the way that tighter pants feel on my legs. So, I mean, right now I'm wearing jeans, like boot cut jeans, because my skinny jeans got a hole in them, and I haven't fixed it yet. But I also love crops. Not capris necessarily, but crops, like just below my knees. That's like my favorite style of pants to wear. And because I'm super into pirates right now, I also want to invest in some white leggings and some penny loafers. Because I don't know why, but I really dig that particular aesthetic. I don't know what my current obsession with pirates stems from, but you know, go with the flow, you know? Yeah. Oh, it's such a pretty red. Okay, so what's next? Let's do her skin tone. Because I just had an idea. Well, I can't necessarily do that. Maybe I can. But, I will skip it for now. Or will I? No, that's way too dark. But... and bring in... Ooh, you know what? Let's do it. Let's piss some people off. Because there is a live action Little Mermaid coming out soon. And they have picked an incredibly beautiful woman to play Ariel. So you know what? Let's pay homage to that. Oh, so something else I watched, besides a particular pirate show, I watched Turning Red for the first time, and oh, that movie is so cute. Like, it is so freaking cute. Yeah. So not only am I staying on the lines, but ignore this hand. Just pretend it doesn't exist. And if you're someone with Photoshop skills and you download this to color it, feel free to correct that hand. I was never freehand to hand, man. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Especially when you have a hand guide already and you choose to ignore it entirely. It's not worth it. I might have to go back through and darken up some of these lines again, but that's not a problem. I really should go with the highlights first, shouldn't I? Yeah. Yeah, so Turning Red was super cute. I know that it's like a coming of age thing, and but the way that it was done, just kind of like, oh, she's growing up, she's becoming her own person, that kind of thing, really, like, it was really so wonderful to see that, especially in a movie with a female main character, where growing up doesn't have to be gross or taboo. Like, you should be able to talk about stuff, like how the mom showed up to school with pads and just so supportive of her, and was just so ready to be there for her and be like, I'm going to talk you through this entire process. And yeah, it was just so heartwarming to see. That one's the dark one. Is that the one I mean? Yeah, I guess so. Actually, I don't know anymore. Hold on. Oh, it's okay. There's nothing underneath this, but that's fine. Just like, I don't want to waste any more paper than I have to. Okay, that is the dark one, because like, even though this is like, what, 100 pages? 120 sheets of paper? Like, I want this to last me a while. But I need this for, I guess I'll have two sheets. One to put underneath and one to like mess with, because I really do need a tester sheet with me at all times. Yeah. Because like a lot of other like coming of age movies tend to have that air of them where they're, I just made a faux pas, but oh well. This air about them where it's just like they have to make an analogy to periods and menstruation, where Turning Red didn't really do that. It did, like, it did and it didn't. Like, it made menstruation seem like something completely different, but it also, like, there is that analogy to it, and it didn't shy away from menstruation, which I really appreciate, because like, when I was growing up, I didn't get movies like that where menstruation was just like, oh, this is something that happens to you, and it's never ever talked about. And before you're like, why are the colors so bad? Give me a second, I'm gonna fix it. Calm down. I know I cannot remember the actress's name, and I feel really bad for that, but I do know that she has lighter color skin. But I'm going to be fixing that with blending. So I've also got some weird lines going on. But yeah, I do need to go back through and darken up these lines a little bit. I mean, even though it's like more Disney style to have like all near invisible lines, it's not my style. So I woke up late today, so I'm spending, like, I actually thought about not doing the video, like not recording today, but after I like made my schedule and I was like, I think I can get this done in time before I have to go to my client today. Well, before I have to eat and then go to my client, because there's a difference between having time. It's like with my clients and stuff, I keep certain hours sacred, where it's like I am absolutely not available at these times. And a lot of that is because now that I'm pretty much self-employed, I determine my own hours. And part of that has a lot to do with like the various jobs I've had where it's like you are available at these times, and there's no, ignore the fact that I'm just not staying in the lines. I don't think I've ever stayed in the lines. But yeah, and like, even though I am self-employed, and it's like you could definitely make more money doing more hours, I don't want to do that particular job for the rest of my life. And it's like I need to It's like, yeah, I will admit I am having trouble keeping on top of my finances, because sometimes clients cancel last minute and I wind up like not getting paid as much as I need to be paid that week. But if I add more hours to my schedule, that means that I don't get time to do stuff like this. And this is what I really want to do. Like, I want to spend my life coloring and drawing and teaching other people how to draw. I'm looking for a white marker. Be easier to get to stuff if I, ooh. Oh, you know what? I should show you all what I'm doing. Alright. Found my paint pen. I also found whiteout. The liquid whiteout, which is actually incredibly toxic, and you shouldn't ever use it for any reason. And I just realized that the problem with doing what I'm doing currently is now I have to wait for it to dry. And I'm already pressed for time. It's like, oh, I should have done this last. But no, I had to do it now. Now, so I don't have a hairdryer. Yeah, so I went to Ulta at some point last year, and I saw that they had like a Barbie curling iron. And I don't use curling irons. I don't use like any kind of hair product thingies. That's why I don't own a hair dryer, because I don't do anything with my hair. And I saw that they had a Barbie curling iron, or flat iron, or whatever it's called. Ma'am. And I was like, you know what? If they have this as like a hair dryer, I will pay however much for that hair dryer. However, the Ulta I was at didn't have that, didn't have the hair dryer in stock. And I'm like, okay, fine. I will look it up online and see if I can have it delivered here. Because for whatever reason, big box stores don't want to deliver to your houses anymore. It's a whole thing. And I looked up what the Barbie hairdryer looked like, and it looked so bad. It didn't look anything like the curling iron, which like had a very 80s, 90s, like brightly colored, sporty Barbie kind of look to it, and the hairdryer was just pink with the Barbie logo on it. And I'm like, no. I no longer want the Barbie hairdryer. Yeah. Should I get a fan? Should I get a blow dryer specifically for these things? Yes. Am I going to? Probably not. But if somebody has a Barbie hairdryer and doesn't want it anymore, let me know. Hit me up. Yeah, because it's really important that I don't touch this while it's drying. So I'm going to start with this pink. So what I have here is like the shadows are the color. So it's going to be predominantly white with the color coming out in the shadow. I don't know if you've ever seen fabric like that before, but it's a beautiful effect. Oh, yep, I just did that because that wasn't quite dry yet. So now we're going to come back with the blender and blend it out. but specifically just the edges. So yeah, I love like the color changing fabric that just it changes with in the light that you see. So it's like if there's no light on it, it's one color. If there's light on it, it's a completely different color. And then like as you move, it looks like your dress is changing color, and I love. There's also like white fabrics that have a particular sheen to them, where you'll see it's like undertone come out in certain lights, and I think that's more of what I'm going for. And the reason that these aren't in order of like, because what she's wearing, so it would be purple, green, blue, pink, is because I am a Roy G. Biv person, and I cannot put colors in anything but Roy G. Biv. So yeah, so they have to be red, green, blue, purple, because that's just the kind of person I am. Otherwise they would be in the order that chronological order, I should say. So by the time we get down here, we should be seeing more and more color come out of these. Yeah, the reason I went with more of like the silver dress, which is at the end of the movie before her wedding to Prince Eric, is because I really love the simplicity of that dress. And obviously this is not simple, but I don't see a lot of people really give that dress a lot of love. And honestly, I think that is a crime, because it is an incredibly beautiful dress. Instead, the pink dress is like more of her iconic dress, but I think a lot more people love the blue dress than the pink dress, because like the blue dress is more simple. But the silver dress is just as beautiful, and I feel like that should be more of what I feel like we should just see more of that dress in particular. So that's why I went with the silver dress. But also, you know, wanted to incorporate all of her other dresses as well, because I love all of her dresses. Well, not the pink. Maybe the pink one. The green one, not so much. The one that they've created in the last like 10 years or so, that's kind of like to get away from the pink dress, I guess. Because they want to put Aurora in the pink dress, because Cinderella's in the blue dress and they can't have multiple colored dresses. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I don't want to go so far as to say I know what the thought process is at Disney, because more often than not, the thought process is just design whatever because people are gonna buy it. And not to sound callous, but yeah. So yeah, when I was younger, I was in love with The Little Mermaid. And I think I was a mermaid for multiple Halloweens. I could be wrong on that, but I have pictures of myself somewhere of being in with that ugly red wig, wearing this one piece that had a tail on one end, or like around my legs, and a shell bra attached to a leotard, and I loved that. I think I wore it until I couldn't wear it anymore. And I think for a very, very long time, I actually went back and forth on which Disney princess was my favorite. But I think Ariel for a good long time was my favorite. And of course I'm obsessed with like the ocean, to the point where I like move to the Oregon coast. Not, I mean, I say that like I had a choice in the matter. I did not. I really hope my blender's not drying out. I need those. I mean, I have another blender, but I don't know if it's as good as the Hoo Hoo blender. It's still pretty wet. I hate the squeaky sound. I hate it! Alright, so there is the dress, and then we're gonna take this, and then I'm just gonna color the whole thing gray, and then do highlights and shadows. Because, oh no, I definitely need a lighter gray. But I can use this at least to create a little bit of a shadow there. It's got some Dolly Parton boobs going on. That is entirely my fault. I like to go, when it comes to drawing the chest of anybody, I don't really want to like go ham on drawing the details so much as like shading in the details and giving more of a idea of what the details are with coloring. However, with this particular one, I did a little too much of a swoop when I should have done a whoop. And it turned into Dolly Parton. But, you know, sometimes that's okay. Because Dolly Parton is one of the queens of this house. This is taking forever. I wish I had a bigger marker, but I don't. Yeah, that's why I think for, was it Cinderella had the most surface area on her dress. I decided to go with white with blue accents. Yeah. Alright, so now we're gonna go get some shades in. I'm gonna go with this one. Oh, where's that 51? I think I like the 51, yeah. So we're gonna do this. And if we need to, we'll bring in the 70, which is the busy house today, but that's what I get for waking up late. Yeah, I usually try to get up earlier than my roommate and her kids do, just so I can get some quiet time and some good recording. However, that did not happen today. I'm going to take this and we're going to blend. Bend like you've never blended before. I know it looks super drab right now, but it's going to look super awesome, I hope. At least in my brain, it looks good. So now we're going to bring in this guy. I'm going to need this as a tester because paint pens are fickle. So, being very meticulous with where I place these, because I don't want to do like a streak. I want to like make it seem like it's sequenced. Like she just like came out of the water, maybe it's water droplets. Because that's when she does come out of the water in this dress, so. Or in the silver dress, not in this dress. I am trying to follow the highlight, or like where the highlights would be if like this was like a real dress. Cause this was a sparkly dress when she came out to see that day, to marry the love of her life, the himbo prince. Pointillism. Okay. I appreciate what goes into pointillism, like the effort and the amount of time and patience people have with pointillism. I am not that person. Ooh, crap. Boom. Okay. We're gonna pretend that never happened. That's why you shouldn't get impatient. Do as I say, not as I do, because I am a horrible influence. Come and give me just a little bit more today. There we go. Okay, so I think then we can go do a little bit of, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Let me work on some of these lines just to make them stand out just a little bit more. And also fix some of the mistakes I made. Oh, that looks amazing. Let's do some sparkles here too. Why not? Spread the sparkles. Spread the sparkles and don't hit too hard, cause if you do, your work will be gone. I'm almost done and it looks like snow, but you know what, we're gonna pretend that it's really not. I feel very singy today. Sing, 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 sing. We're gonna be singing today. Some of these are just gonna dry like almost completely transparent, so I'm not too worried about there being like an overabundance of sparkles. But honestly, never have enough sparkles. Okay. I think I'm done. I've made a mess as per usual, but I really like this. I think it actually came out really good. Better than I was expecting. I'm really happy. Alright, well, thank you all for joining me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. It's time for a super special surprise! We have our first colors from another person. This one is from my other mother, Jen. I call her my other mother because she is the mother of one of my closest friends in the world. And I have been selected to join their family. I don't know if that's the right term, but Jen was so kind and so gracious to give me these colors, and I wanted to show them off because I feel like she did such a phenomenal job, and I never would have thought to make the skirt and the gloves have like gold in them, and I thought that was just such a beautiful rendition of that. And of course, anybody who wants to color any of these and show them off, I would love to do so. So please, 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 please send your colors to me on Instagram. I am Taryn M. Gray there. I am Taryn M. Gray on Twitter. I'm Taryn M. Gray on Facebook. If you want to email them to me, I have a business email called Triple Threat Taryn at gmail.com. So if you want to send your colors there, however, I do not check that email very often. So please leave me a comment down in the video to check my email. I will greatly appreciate it. But yes, and the Ariel colors will be available in the link below on my WordPress. So, and the password is Disney. So thank you again so much to my other mother, Jen. And thank you so much to my mom for sending in that story. Well, I asked her to do it, but she did. And she sent me this lovely story and said some really nice things. And it just really warms my heart to hear my mom's voice. Because now that I live in Oregon, far, far away from Texas, I don't get to hear her voice as often. So now she gets to be part of my video forever and ever and ever. So I can listen to her over and over again. All right. Well, thank you again, guys, so much. And please check out the description below for some. I have a Redbubble. I have a Gumroad. I have other ways that you can support me. And I just really, really appreciate you taking the time to get this far in the video and to listen to me ramble. But thank you again. And please send me your colors and I'll put them in the video. All right. I guess that's all for me. So, goodbye for now.